Democratic candidate Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is just one Democrat among many campaigning on a far-left immigration agenda. She's now doubling down to abolish ICE.
We need to occupy every airport. We need to occupy every border. We need to occupy every ICE office until those kids are back with their parents, period.
We need to rebuild our immigration system from top to bottom, starting by replacing ICE.
We should protect families that need our help, and that is not what ICE is doing today, and that's why I believe you should get rid of it, start over, reimagine it.
There are other candidates who believe the same thing. Those comments receiving a lot of pushback from the right and a great deal of moderates. Let's bring in our political panel, Matt Brainerd, Executive Director of Look Ahead America, and Jose Aristimuño, CEO of Now Strategies. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I know where you're going to fall on this, Matt, so I want to start with you, Jose. True or false? Democrats are just throwing condemnation at immigration policies, and they're not providing a solution.
Look, I disagree. I think we've been providing a solution from day one, and it's simple. Let's pass comprehensive immigration reform. Let's remember, 2013.
I'm going to challenge you
Senate,
on that.
Okay, 2013.
I'm going to challenge you on that.
That's okay. Look, is it tough to pass? Absolutely, it's tough to pass. But this is why these members of Congress got elected, to come to Washington and
But it's also why they have the lowest approval rating out of anyone that's been elected office, is because they do not get immigration reform done.
Because the leadership of Republicans are not allowing real immigration bills to come before the floor. Remember 2013? Democrats passed a Senate bill, and who blocked it? Republicans in the House.
Okay, but I want to bring in Matt, because if there is an opportunity, let's say they do take the Senate, when we see far-left candidates like this, and they fracture the Democratic Party, what makes you think they're going to pass immigration reform when they're split? Matt?
Yeah, I mean, they ran the show for 2 years under Obama. They tried to do health care. They did a terrible job of it. They could have fixed immigration then because they had supermajorities in both houses and the White House. Didn't do anything about it, aren't serious about the problem. But now, actually, I do believe they're coming together with a comprehensive set of solutions, and that is aiding and abetting MS-13 with sanctuary cities, aiding and abetting child sex traffickers by allowing anybody who shows up at the border with a child to then be caught and released into the general public without any accountability, without even having to take a DNA test to prove that that child is related to them. So these policies of abolishing ICE are creating this anti-law enforcement comprehensive solution that the Democrats are increasingly getting on board with. And I'm very enthusiastic to run against this, or see them run on this platform in the midterm elections on this crazy wild-eyed scheme of abolishing ICE, and then to run on that again in 2020, because I actually expect that this wing of the party that's become so loud and has dominated all of the news cycles is actually going to push, and eventually abolishing ICE will be in the 2020 Democratic platform.
But I'm curious about abolish ICE. I mean, that's not, we're talking about Customs and Border Patrol. I mean, it's sort of like, do they know that's not, I mean, what is that going to do if we abolish ICE?
Right, look, this is the truth, and with all due respect to Matt, a majority of Democrats don't want to abolish ICE. Is there a growing force? Absolutely.
There's a huge
That's
growing
not true.
force.
There was just a resolution passed, just to not even on policy, but just to support the members, the women and men who are doing law enforcement.
They were playing political games to try to use Democrats as anti-law enforcement.
They did not vote in favor of a simple resolution.
They voted present.
They did not vote in favor of a simple resolution saying, do you support the men and women who are doing this incredibly dangerous job of securing our borders? They sat on the sidelines, including the majority leader, the whip,
not true.
and
not true.
A supermajority of the caucus.
It's not
a vote.
true.
It's a
from day one,
vote.
it's not true.
Are you seeing? Are you seeing a push from moderates are saying let's rein that in a little bit?
What we ought to do as a party is let's rebrand ICE. ICE is not a deportation force. No. You said it. It's actually its duty. It's actually not to be in the border. Actually, that's not their main duty. What they ought to do is go after the real bad guys, transnational criminal organizations and things of the such. We ought to rebrand it. You know, you cannot sit here with a straight face and say that ICE is doing the right job, because it's not. It's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Okay, let me tell you something.
Separating families.
If you were a parent in the United States and you did something as stupid and reckless with your child as illegally crossing a border with a paid coyote, CPS would immediately take that child away from you and prosecute you and separate you.
Okay, so I want to.
There's no way. ICE is doing fantastic work on the border.
It's unbelievable. Look, a majority of Republicans will disagree with you. A majority of Americans actually
We'll
think
find
that
out
they're
in November
doing,
whether
we
or not,
will,
whether or
and
not
this-
they're behind.
That's
So
true.
I want to
That
talk
is true.
more about, and you're right, we'll see what happens in November, because we'll see how some of these far left candidates do when it comes to the actual midterms as opposed to the primaries. I'm curious, when we see some polling that says and shows basically that merit-based immigration is popular, are we going to see more candidates on both sides of the aisle getting behind that? And I want to start with you, Jose.
I think Democrats and Republicans should sit at a table, just like we're sitting on right now, and negotiate and find a middle ground that represents what the majority of Americans want. And I know you're going to disagree with me again, and I know it's hard to pass, but we can do it. Let's get together, put all the political games aside, and pass comprehensive immigration reform. If we pass comprehensive immigration reform, we wouldn't have.
I mean, I don't mean
comprehensive. What he means when he uses that term, what he means is that basically giving everybody who's snuck into this country illegally immediate citizenship and voting rights. That's what it means. The
I'm not going to let you
just
define what Democrats think.
It's in your legislation. It's in the legislation they support. Is giving pathways to citizenship to people who've come here legally, which gives them an incentive to continue
who learn
coming.
English, who pay their taxes, who pay taxes.
Look,
they're not criminals.
You had 2 years. You had 2 years and you screwed it up. So, time's up.